Hey everyone, and welcome to the Craftea Chat podcast. First one of 2018, so happy new year to you all. Oh, my hair looks terrible today. Apologies, getting it done on Tuesday, so it's kind of a bit of a gross, faded, and very flat actually, but grey at the ends, which is a bit gross. But I'm getting it done on Tuesday. It's okay. It's the last time you have to see me with gross looking hair. I'm having some more fun colour put in. I'm having it bleached high. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hi everyone, Happy New Year. Like I say, this is the first podcast of 2018. As I've already said, this is the Craftea Chat podcast. My name is Hannah. I am the hostess with somewhat mostess of this podcast. Postcard? What am I talking about? If you are new, hi, welcome. Hope that you enjoy the podcast. Thank you for, checking it out. Obviously something on the thumbnail drew you in, so here's hoping I did a good job with that one. And if you're not new, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. Obviously I'm doing something right, and you seem to enjoy my company, which is delightful, so thanks. I haven't spoken much yet this morning. It's only 9:10. I'm so on it. It's a Saturday morning. It's only 9:10. Any jingles you hear are my bracelets. So yeah, my voice is a bit voicey. I haven't spoken much this morning, but that's okay. I am drinking tea this morning. It's out of a mug which has a naughty word on it, so if you're adverse to those words, I recommend looking away. But it's one of my new favourite cups. Let's get this in focus. It's a travel mug as opposed to an actual cup. It does have a lid, but I'm just using it as a normal cup. I really enjoy drinking tea out of it. And the tea I'm drinking is just Twinings Everyday, whatever it's called. It's just like a really nice English breakfast tea. Splash of milk and a sweetener. It's how I like my tea. A splash of milk and a sweetener. I'm very strong. I like orange tea. But yes. Like I say, we do have a Ravelry group, which is the Craftea Chat Ravelry group, and on there you will find a list of all of the notes and all of the things that I've talked about and the yarns I've used and projects I've spoken about, yada yada yada, and they can all be found there. And also I have social media because, I'm a modern day woman. They're here, my social medias. So feel free to follow me on there and yeah, enjoy. Okay, a lot has happened since I last spoke to you. It's been a month since I've last properly sat down and podcast. I did a couple of live streams, which I don't count as podcasts because I don't tell you anything about what I've been working on. There's no structure to them. I'm literally having a chat with the people that are in the chat, and I absolutely love it and I have such a good time, and you seem to enjoy them too. So I think I'm going to start doing more live streams because I do enjoy them. This jumper fits a bit weirdly underneath my arms. Oh well. This is the first jumper I ever knit. Can't remember what the pattern is off the top of my head, which actually surprises me that I don't know what the pattern is because I should do. I talked about it on enough podcasts. No, mine is blank and my phone is somewhere else. I actually don't know where it is. Downstairs probably. But yes, and it's the fantastic sheepy BFL and Massam blend from Knitting Goddess. So it's very woolly. I love it. But it is pilling. So I need to get me a gleaner. See, it's pilling. It's okay. These things happen, but I do need to get me a gleaner so I can depill. I haven't actually worn this jumper that much because I knit it and then I finished it and it was too hot to wear because I finished it last spring. And then I put on quite a lot of weight when I moved back to England. And so then it didn't look very good because I was a bit too chunky for it. But now I'm losing weight again and it fits all right again. So I thought, let's wear it. And I wore it yesterday as well. And it's just so warm and snuggly and love it and it's perfect. And anyway, I will pop what the pattern is in the Ravelry show notes and maybe across the bottom of the screen as well, because future me will be able to look it up, but present me cannot. But a lot has happened. Christmas has happened, New Year has happened, I've had so much knitting time, so I've been knitting a lot. So I actually have 4 finished things, and technically I have 6 finished things, but 2 of the finished things I've gifted. I made some fingerless mitts for some lovely people that I've befriended, and I made them out of Aran weight yarn, and literally I made one set of fingerless mitts one evening, and then I made the next set the next evening, and fantastic. And there were man mittens too. Very impressive. I was very impressed with myself, and also the pattern. So the first thing I finished, technically finished, still needs blocking, and I haven't trimmed the ends. They're all woven in, but I like to block and then trim. The reason I haven't blocked it is because I've been meaning to film a podcast for a really long time, and I just haven't done. But I finished my Half Moon Oracle shawl, almost, except for blocking. So it looks like this. This is a pattern by Kristen Lehrer, who is Vullenvine and hostess of the Yarngasm podcast. She designed this fantastic shawl pattern. She designed the full pie first, and then she adapted it to half pie, and I thought, oh, you know what? I'll probably wear the half pie more than the full pie. And it's a fantastic melange of, I'm loving that word right now, melange, mixture, blend of lace and brioche. So let's get up close and let's move the tea. Let's hope I don't knock that on my knitting. I sit on the floor to film podcasts. It's very professional. There we go. So the green is Goosebumps, and it's hedgehog fibres sock, which is 90% merino, 10% nylon. Then we have a charcoal lace section, which is very nice. I'm not very good at showing off lace. I'm not used to knitting a lot of lace. And that is Truly Hooked standard sock in charcoal, including the name, and that's also behind on the brioche as well. And then we've got this fantastic purple, which is by Potion Yarns, and that's called Panties in a Twist. And that's on her Dryad sock, I believe, which is 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon, because I don't mind mixing my fibres. And yeah, and so it continues. So each colour gets their own lace section, each colour gets their own brioche section. Well, they share the brioche section. And then we have an I-cord bind off. And yeah, really happy with this shawl. It took me a long time to knit. I started it at the beginning of November, and then that was stupid timing, because then I had all of the, like I say, this really needs blocking, but oh, it's so nice. Then I had all of the Christmas knits to knit, and so this kind of went on the back burner, which is really sad, because all I wanted to do was knit it, and then I went back to it. And you increase quite a lot of stitches every time you increase. So the last row is almost, or the last few rows is almost 600 stitches. I had a bit of a problem, so I was knitting this over Christmas. I had a bit of a problem going into, I'd knit that lace section. After this brioche section and going into the green lace section, I had a bit of bother, because I started knitting, fine. I had the wrong stitch count, I had to rip it out. And then I was talking to people, so I'd done the lace pattern wrong, but I couldn't spot where. So then I had to rip it out, and basically I went back and forth on this section 3 times, which is really fun. I love picking up stitches. No, I don't. I hate it. My mum did offer, to be fair, which was really nice. But then, yeah, I just had to count every time. Count the amount of stitches I had. And, you know, break up the lace pattern. My grandma suggested a way of doing it, bless her. She said, oh, you should try. So it's a 12 stitch repeat, I think. I can't remember, or is it 8? It's either 8 or 12. She said, well, you know, count the stitches as you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you know that, for example, the yarn over is on the 4th stitch, and then knit is on the 3rd stitch. I can't remember what the pattern is now. And the knit 2 together is on the 8th stitch or whatever. And if you haven't got that, then you know you've gone wrong. And I was just like, clever. So I did that, and it worked. And I finished it, and I didn't have to rip backwards that much anymore. And I think this is the predominant way of me wearing it. Clearly,
Bit of a weird mood this morning, I think. Not quite sure why.
Ta-da! Do the thing. Ta-dee.
Really enjoyed the knit. The lace pattern is easy to learn. Brioche is always fun to do. Brioche is actually also quite mindless. My only qualm is the I-cord bind off, but the only reason that that is a qualm is because it takes so long when it's 600 stitches. Because for those who don't know, you kind of technically knit 3 stitches for every stitch you bind off. It took me like 5 hours of knitting to cast it off. So just when you think, oh, I'm at the end, you're not quite. But it really needs blocking because the edge has no shape to it. So that's what I'm going to do this evening, afternoon. Today, it's still very early. So that's finished object number 1. And I still have, it's directly behind me, I'm not going to grab it. I still have enough of the green to make a pair of socks. So, just saying, I don't have enough of the purple. I used far more purple than I did green. That's okay. I could have the purple as the contrast heels, toes and cuffs. I'm excited. I need to block it desperately. But then I will show you next time in its full blocked glory. Cool. The next thing that I finished, and these aren't clean, so I'm sorry I wore them, are my Christmas socks. I finished my Christmas socks. This yarn is West Yorkshire Spinners in their candy cane colourway. The contrast green is yarn that I actually dyed myself. And I can't remember what I did to dye it, so I can't dye more of it. But it matches quite well. And there was one skein left in a yarn shop in York that I went to, and my mum and I both wanted it. So I said, you know what, let's buy that one skein and then we'll split it 50-50. You knit a pair of socks, I knit a pair of socks, fantastic, because I can get a pair of socks out of 50 grams of yarn. So what I did was I knit just a tube, and then except for the top, and then I weighed it, and then when it was 50 grams ish, actually I think it was when I had just over 50 grams left, I started on the toe, and then I cut in an afterthought heel using the Kirby Werby method, which is a video on YouTube. And I think I did it in the right place. I don't know. I keep trying with these damn afterthought heels. I'm not very good at them though. I could have knit for a bit longer though, because I do have some left, so I'm a bit annoyed I didn't make the leg longer. But they stick above my dot martens, so that's all that matters. I did 60 stitches on a 2.5mm needle and German twisted cast on. I did about 15 rows of 2x2 rib. I knit 4 rounds before I start decreasing on my heel, because I have a very high arch in my foot, or instep, if you will. And then you Kitchener off, and yeah. Oh, I've done quite a good Kitchener on this. Oh no, I haven't, I was looking in the wrong place. I don't want to get too up close and personal with these socks because they do need a wash, but it's not like you can smell them. They're probably not smelly anyway. But yeah, that green match, I'm very proud. It's not bad. They're just a bit short, but that's okay. Socks. And then I have more socks. So every year, or for the past 2 years, I've been participating in the Christmas Eve cast on, which was started by Danny of Little Bobbins Knits podcast. And I've only been knitting, I haven't been knitting that long, so it makes sense that I've only started last year, or like hardcore knitting, let's say. I've been knitting for a long time, but hardcore knitting. So I really wanted to participate, so I grabbed a ball of yarn that I bought at Nottingham Yarn Expo, and I cast on Christmas Eve. And then I didn't knit them that much because I was knitting my shawl instead. But I finished them. I did finish them. And yeah, I did another afterthought heel in these as well because I really wanted to crack it. And these are clean because I haven't worn them yet. So the colourway is Down Sheepy Lane in her Peppermint Party colourway. And it's really fun. Once again, should have made these longer. This is why I don't like afterthought heels, because I think, oh yeah, that'll do. And it won't, because the leg is quite short, but they're still pretty. I have a fun story about these. Boom! Heel. So, Mario and I went to see the new Star Wars film. And then I brought these socks with me. And I had the contrast ball in the bag with it. And about halfway through the film, the contrast ball fell out the bag. And I lost it. So I posted my woes on Instagram, and the fantastic Debbie said, "Oh, I have a spare. Would you like it?" And I said, "That would be the best thing ever. Yes, please." And so she sent it, and so I still got my fun contrast heel because it matches the speckles in that light coloured stripe. This was the yarn that put me over my budget for Nottingham Yarn Expo, just saying. Worth it. I knit a really long cuff this time. Don't know how many stitches I knit. I could count really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know, it's still only 16 stitches. Just looks really long, doesn't it? And then, yeah. This was also 60 stitches out on a 2.5mm needle. Ah, no. These were 64 stitches on a 2.25mm needle. Were they? No, ignore me. They're both the same. 60 stitches, 2.5mm needle, German twisted cast on, standard wedge decrease toe. Once again, knit 4 rounds before I started decreasing the heel. Same heel technique, Kirby Werby, because I didn't want to mess up the stripes too much. And yeah, excited to wear these. Bit worried that I didn't make them long enough in the leg for them to stick over my boots. But we shall see. Christmas Eve cast on, complete. And technically, I'm just going to say, I definitely had enough socks to participate in the Boxo socks, but I didn't have a box, and so I didn't have a little photo shoot with all of my socks, so I didn't enter the knit along after saying I was going to, which is a bit sad, because I knit about 16 pairs of socks myself this year, maybe more. I should really count them, but yeah. The final thing I have knit for myself, because I'm all about the selfish knitting right now, is my hat. This is the Sockhead hat. I can't remember who the pattern is by, but I'll put it on the screen. I followed the pattern completely, except for the fact I went up to a 3.25mm needle instead of using a 3mm needle, because I have a big head. As I've spoken about in previous podcasts, my head is massive. So a normal stitch count doesn't fit me for the sock head. So I, instead of what I did last time when I knit my other sock head hat, is I knit, I can't remember how many, 8 more stitches. I think I added 8 extra stitches. But this time I thought, oh, I could just go up in needle size. That makes more sense. So I did, and it fits beautifully. This yarn is also by Truly Hooked, and I bought this at Bakewell Wool Gathering actually this year, and it is the God Save the Queen colourway. Very Sex Pistols-esque. Ooh, now I've really messed up my hair. But it's got fantastic pops of neon yellow and neon pink and black, and that's the colours, with a nice neutral base. And if you know me at all, you will know that I am rather partial to a neutral base with speckles, and I don't know why, but I need to be sure that I don't buy too much of it, because otherwise that is all my wardrobe. I'm just going to be a vision in white. Although saying that, I'm also partial to greys, purples and mint greens. Grey purple, we've got some grey purple and mint green here. We've got the mint green and the teal here, which is also in that family in my head. yeah, I need to branch out my colourways a bit more this year. Or not my colourways, my colour palette. I need to branch out my colour palette a bit more this year. I'm going to keep this hat on. I quite like it, and it hides my hair beautifully. I was going to get a big old fluffy pom-pom and put it on it, but I haven't decided yet if I actually want to. Good cup of tea. I couldn't find my teeny tiny tripod because my tripod is about that big. It's very small. And you're sat on top of an old camera box as well as a as well as a bedside table. You don't need to know. My very professional YouTube setup. So yeah, what I was going to do was couldn't find my tripod. So I made my cup of tea and was running around like a headless chicken trying to find my tripod, which I've obviously since found. Now my tea isn't as warm as it could have been, but you don't need to know that. So let's go on to works in progress before I go too much further off topic. Look, I'm using my massive bag from Spool Stories, which I'm so obsessed with this bag. And you know what massive bag means? We're knitting a jumper, as you will know if you follow me on Instagram, because I've been spamming the life out of this. But this is Spool Stories or business card. Boop. So you can get one yourself. Oh, it's so shaky. I'm a bit obsessed with this knit. By a bit, I mean I'm super obsessed with this knit. I have jumped on a bandwagon so hard that I have a bruise on my bum. I don't usually like jumping on bandwagons. That find your fade, I let other people find theirs. That so faded sweater, I let other people knit it. Other various trends that have gone round, sure, you would do that. You have a good time. I'll be over here knitting something else. But this one caught my heart, and also I had the yarn. So I have cast on the Zweig jumper, which is by Caitlin Hunter, and it is pronounced Zweig. It means like branch or twig. Technically path, I believe. It's a German word. I am not German, but I have learnt the language. And for those who don't know what pattern this is, it's this one. I didn't need to print out the front page in full colour. I understand. Zweig. So that was a waste of ink on my part. But also meant I can show you now. So I have cast it on. Where's the front? Where's the front? Oh, it's there-ish, I think. And I'm so excited for this. You have no idea. So most people's jumpers I have seen who have knit this have knit it with this main colour, which is this top bit here, being dark, and then the contrast being pale. I haven't seen many people knit it the other way around, but hey, I'm knitting it the other way around. So I bought 3 skeins of this pale colour at Aschaffenburg, at Wollträumer, because I used to live in Germany, and yeah, went to Aschaffenburg to the Wollträumer Wollfest, or whatever it was called, and I found these beautiful skeins of yarn, which are now caked up and not skeins anymore, and was strongly encouraged by my knitty friends to buy 3 of them to make a jumper. So I did, and plus they were very reasonable. It is Emmy Lou, and it's her merino twist. 80% wool, 20% polyamide. Like I always say, I never know how to pronounce things in English ways when I read them in German. I can't help it. It's about 400 meters per 100 grams. It is machine washable, and it was only €14.50, which is about 13-ish, no, less than £12.50-ish. I don't know, my conversion's a bit off. It doesn't matter if we were earning in euros. But this is her logo here. And her website at the bottom down here. And This colourway is called Spicy Speckles, I believe. I have a whole vlog on it. Obviously this doesn't look like it's going to fit me at the moment because I haven't stretched it out, and it's on very small needles, circumference wise, while I knit the lace. But I'm really enjoying knitting this, and all I want to do is wear this jumper so much. Oh, the dark red colour is by Countess Ablaze, and I visited her shop in Manchester when I went with some of my friends, and I decided I wanted to get a colour to go with this one because I was originally going to make the Sunset Highway sweater, also by Caitlin Hunter, but in 2 colours, but I haven't seen anyone do that, and so I don't know what it's going to look like, so I was a bit apprehensive to do it, so I decided to cast this on instead. And this, oh no, one of my stitch markers fell off. I'll fix it in a second. This is called Waging Wars on Myself in her Lady Persephone sock yarn. 75% BFL, 25% nylon, and it's 425 meters per 100 grams. So it's a bit thinner than the other. Like this yarn is a bit thinner than the other one I'm using, but whatever, it's working. My colourwork's looking pretty spot on. Glad I knit those mittens over Christmas time, just before. This lace work is really fun. It is taking me quite a long time to do. I'm not used to knitting lace, so it's not a thing that I comfortably do, and it does take quite a long time. Why did you fall off? Did I drop a stitch? Please don't say I dropped a stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You shouldn't have technically fallen off, but whatever. And we're back on track. Super, there we go. You can kind of see it. Really love this pattern, really love these colours. Can't wait to put this on my body, which is a weird way of phrasing it. The pattern calls for wrap and turn short rows, and I've never done wrap and turn short rows before, so I gave it a whirl and mine looked horrific. So then I was talking to Becky, because I can't go through a podcast without talking about my Frankfurt bestie. She is Soprano Knits and also hostess of the Stringing It Together podcast. She suggested doing German short rows, so I just completely ripped it out and started again and did German short rows, and thought that they looked not as well, they looked better than the first ones, but still not perfect. But then I jiggled the stitches around and made them look a bit better. But it's still, like, you can still see them, but you know what? Who's going to get that up close and personal with me, where they're like, oh, you appear to have some problems with your short rows, I see. And if they are, then they're just a bit mean, aren't they? Let's be honest. So hopefully no one is going to be mean, but I cannot wait to wear this. And it's, I mean, it looks a little autumnal. One could even say Christmassy, because this is quite a fantastic, deep reddish brownish colour, and everything has my hair on it. I'm molting so much. Ah, weight loss. Causing people's hair to fall out. What fun. Yes, love it. Enjoying it. Knitting it. Yeah. Really want to finish it already, so I can be strutting around wearing it. I'm knitting the medium size, which is, I can't remember how much, what size it is. It's a 40-inch bust circumference. So I probably should, for the size I currently am, I probably should knit a large, but I am in the process of losing weight and it is coming off quite wonderfully. So I didn't want to knit the large and then be faced with the fact it's not going to fit me soon. So I'm knitting the medium because I'm quite broad and everything anyway, so I don't think I'm going to get particularly tiny when losing weight. So I'm not going for a whole host of positive ease, plus that's not really the style of jumper that I wear that much anyway, because like this is quite fitted and such. Yeah, really love this knit, really enjoying this knit. Oh, I talked for such a long time, my camera just cut off. Yes, excited. I will be working on this today. I'm obsessed. I don't want to knit anything else, and the pattern is everywhere. Much like a lot of people this year, I want this year to be the year of the garment. I just want to knit all of it. I don't know if it's with the time of year, to be fair, but I just want to knit all of the knitwear and wear it, obviously. And I don't have that many knitted jumpers that I've made myself. I have a lot of knitted jumpers that my fantastic mum has made me over the years. And because my size has been pretty consistent, even with my slight weight gain and weight loss, it's still in the same bracket that I always am. Just, you know, sometimes things are a little bit bigger and some things are a little bit smaller. But I want to have more jumpers that I knit myself, and I really enjoy wearing 4-ply jumpers, or fingering weight, if you will. This is a 4-ply jumper, and I really enjoy wearing it. But one thing I have realised is that I have gorilla arms, so I need to knit my sleeves longer. But this is bracelet length. Obviously, this was completely intentional. It wasn't. I just have very long arms and never knit things long enough. Plus, I think I was just very excited to wear this jumper. Gorilla arms. But it's okay. I usually roll my sleeves up anyway. So I am tempted to knit this jumper 3/4 length sleeves. Maybe to about here. Like below the elbow, but still 3/4 length. So I want to knit all of the jumpers, which also means I want to buy all of the sweater quantities of yarn. Because I don't have many sweater quantity weights of yarn. These are predominantly single skeins or have destined pairings, which makes it sound far grander than it is. And then the other thing that I'm working on, because you've always got to have a sock on the needle, let's be honest. Yeah, let's just be completely frank about this. Because when I'm out and about and socialising and travelling and on the tram and going to the cinema and talking to people, you always have to have a sock. Because what else are you going to do while you're sat in a pub other than knit? So I got a lot of this done yesterday when I went to the pub, in fact. These are slightly Christmassy, I guess. But these are socks. I cast these on last Friday. I'm using 2.25mm needles this time, so 64 stitches on my stitch count. Always German twisted cast on. It's wonderful and stretchy. This yarn is actually yarn that I got from the Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted. Because one of my wishes was to have some hand-dyed stripy sock yarn. And so I got some hand-dyed by Kate sent to me. If it's going to focus, it might not focus. There it is. And this is her Snowflake Stripes colourway. No. So it's 362 meters per 100 grams. So it's quite a plump one. 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon. So a little luxurious. But because it's high twist, I'm thinking they should be okay. Because it is very high twist, and therefore doesn't feel as soft as other cashmere I've knit with before. I've got contrast heels, toes, and, well, I will have contrast toes, but I'm in the process of knitting. Contrast heels and cuffs at the moment, and that is some leftover Truly Hooked standard sock, I believe, in the silver colourway, which is 75-25 superwash merino and nylon, and this is left over from the Beckline shawl that I knit that was also Becky's pattern, and I got some silver because apparently I always wear grey. I do, clearly. It's one of my favourite colours, apparently, which is a bit sad. But yes, really enjoy this knit. When I first started knitting it, I was like, this looks a little bit like toothpaste, but I think I'm okay with that. I have done a New Depths heel, which is also Becky's pattern. That was me thinking I wouldn't mention Becky that much, and there we go. Lots. New Depths heel, which is perfect for people that have very high arches, such as myself. And yeah, I increased by 2 stitches less than the pattern calls for, and I'm currently knitting the foot. And I just need to try it on to see how far I have to go before I start my toe. And yeah, that is the sock I'm working on. That's living in my Van Gogh TARDIS project bag made for me by Bernadette, aka Eco Geek, and hostess of the Coffee and Craft podcast, which is a new podcast that she has recently started, because she was originally a co-host of the Wet Coast Walls podcast, but now is doing her own thing, and yes, very exciting. My camera battery is dying. How annoying! This is why I need an extra battery. I'm going to plug it in, charge, and then I'll come back in a little bit. I'm back! Yay! I probably didn't let it charge for as long as I should have done, but I'm impatient. Stash fattening! Let's talk about the things that I received for Christmas, and why is there another stitch marker here? Has that one fallen off again? It did! I don't understand why that's falling off. Just gonna fix that real quick. Pop that back there, put that around there. I'm gonna knit one of the things, knit two of the things. Hopefully that won't fall off again. I don't understand why it's falling off. It's a completely closed ring. Magic, clearly. I'm a magician. Stash fattening. How exciting! I received a little bit of yarn for Christmas, which was very nice and very welcome. So first off, I got these. These are all 4-ply, 50% merino, 50% silk, so very luxurious. The brand is Koigu. It's probably terrible pronunciation. It's made in Canada, if you will. It's 50 grams, which is 169 meters, and I got 3 of them. And they were this really nice yellow color. I'm thinking some kind of springtime shawl times little thing, but I don't actually know what. So if anyone has any suggestions, let me know. But yeah, they're really nice colours. These were from Mario's mum, so thank you, Mario's mum. And also from Mario's mum, who was far too generous. She also gifted me a skein of Madeleine Tosh, which is the pashmina base, 75% merino wool, 15% silk, and 10% cashmere. This is in the colour Shire, and it's sport weight, which for the 100 gram skein, it is 329 meters. And I've got some ends flailing about somewhere, but that's okay. But it's this fantastic colour, like teals and greens. And focus, camera, come on. I know I interrupted your camera battery chargingness, but yeah, really fab colours. Once again, don't know what to knit with this. I've never knit anything with sport weight yarn before. It's not a popular weight of yarn, or it's not popular is the wrong word. It's not a weight of yarn that can be found in the UK that much, that I've seen anyway. So I don't really know what to do with it, because I don't have anything I could pair with it. So if anyone has a one skein wonder for this, that would be delightful. Oh, it's so soft. Obviously it's got silk in it, my goodness. And Becky sent me a little Christmas present too. She sent me some remainder sock yarn that she had, so her and I can have matching socks. So that is very exciting. And then she also sent me some very luxurious Rowan cocoon. This is the satin colourway, which is a really nice mulberry, I would say. Not quite burgundy, not quite plum, not aubergine, mulberry. I suppose you could technically say it's a dark mauve, but I always consider mauve to be a paler colour. 80% wool, 20% mohair. Ooh. And Becky has actually designed a hat with this wool in mind, so I think I might be knitting it. So watch this space. I want to say it's technically a chunky yarn. It's 100 grams and it is 115 meters. I think it's chunky. I can't remember. Oh, it's so nice. It's such a pretty colour as well. She knows me. She knows me so well. She knows the colours that I like. And speaking of little Christmas swaps, I got a project bag in the post with some other bits as well, but
It's so lovely. Kristen, I love this bag so much. Like an intense amount. It's got little knitted jumpers all over it. My next knitted jumper project is going to be going in this bag. And I'm a bit sad because I was looking for something and I had been mixing up dyes for my yarn, and then I just held the very smallest amount and didn't realise I had dye on my gloves, so got a bit of dye on a jumper already. But that's okay. Now I know which one's mine. And it's got this fantastic spotty lining. I just love it, love this bag. It's got a little snowflake charm on the zip, and I just love it. Thanks, Kristen. I really like it. Just like da 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 da. And then Truly Hooked had a sale, and I stalked the sale, and then I regretted not buying any. I was going to get a sweater's quantity of her pickled cabbage colourway because I really liked it. But by the time I decided that yes, I probably should have bought that, they'd sold out of it. So then I decided to go with the natural yarn with speckles on. And this is her subtle sock. And it's got speckles of pink and turquoise, and this is going to make a fantastic jumper. And it's 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. And I'm thinking that this, which is from Bad Wolf Girl Studios and the Sugar Plum colourway, this, just a little bit of colour work around here. I've seen one on Reverie, I can't remember what it's called, but it's just got a little bit of colour work around here. This with this, ooh, and it's sparkly. So I'll just have a little bit of sparkly interest around here. And then the rest of the jumper will be in this. What do we think? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah. I know, right? It's going to be fantastic. Oh, I'm so excited. Just want to knit everything right now. I'm so glad I don't have that many sets of needles, because otherwise I would cast on all of the things. I'm back. Again, my camera battery was dying again because I didn't fully charge it because I'm impatient and want to get this edited and uploaded. And then I also had a chat with my parents. So I feel a little off kilter right now, but that's okay. The final stash enhancement that I have, that I think that this is the final, I think, was when I mentioned that I'd lost the contrast colour of of these socks. Debbie not only sent me a skein of the contrast colour, ball of the contrast colour, she also said, oh, it seemed a bit pointless me just sending you that, so I've sent you my colour of the month as well, which I had been ogling and had come this close to buying a sweater's quantity worth, and then fought it because I had just bought one. But this is called Do the Magic, which is inspired by Frozen. And it's basically me in a skein of yarn. All the colours that I enjoy in a skein of yarn. There's very similar colours to these, actually, if we're being honest. So yes, down Sheepy Lane. Stop focusing on my face. I know, it's a vision of beauty. But it's wonderful green, mint greens, and deep magentas, and there's a bit of neon green in here, and blue, and paler greens and purples, and it's just a very stunning skein of yarn, if we're being completely blunt about it. This is on her sturdy sock base, which is 75% blue face Leicester, 25% nylon, 425 meters per 100 grams, meaning it's 4-ply yarn. Because in the UK we call fingering weight yarn, or sock yarn, we call it 4-ply yarn. And I have a feeling this is the same base of the 4-ply yarn that I use. But I have decided that this is going to be a sock head hat as well, because I obviously knit a lot of shawls in these colours, clearly. So this will go with all of those. It will be coordinated but not matching, because I did look on Etsy and I did come very close to buying 2 extra skeins to make a jumper, and then luckily by the time I went to actually get it, she had sold out, which was very lucky because I don't need any more yarn right now. I'm trying not to buy any more yarn till March. Yes,
I love this. I love it. It's such a beautiful colour. Her colour of the month is stunning. She's got mini skeins, like mini skein sets inspired by the different colours in this. She's got this across various different bases, and it's just a really stunning colour. She is on Etsy down Sheepy Lane, and she does really good speckles. Just saying. So I've got one final piece of knitting news. A couple of things. Let's firstly say, I updated my Etsy shop last week. I know a lot of people are broke after Christmas. January is a very long month, because I last got paid before Christmas. And, my purse is feeling it. But as a side note, I did update my Etsy shop with some yarn last week. Tried a few different colorways, got a few pastels. I am cracking out the speckles. Not quite as good as this or this, but you know, I'm getting there. For those who don't know, I have an Etsy shop. It's called The Corner of Craft, like my YouTube channel. And in there I do beaded stitch markers, which I'm hoping to make some more this coming week to do in next week's shop update. And I also dye yarn, because I really enjoy doing it. It's really, really fun. And the yarn that I dyed are in colorways inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, because I'm a huge nerd and I really enjoy playing Dungeons and Dragons. No shame. I love it. It's so much fun. So the colorways that I dye are inspired by spells and feats and class feats and class features and monsters and things like that. Basically, if you find it in Dungeons and Dragons, I try and dye a colourway inspired by it. And I have a lot of fun doing it, and I've been trying out new techniques and whatnot, and I've had a lot of fun this last week dyeing out lots of different colours, and so much fun, because I just really enjoy dyeing out lots of different colours. So yeah, go check out my Etsy shop if that is something that you sounds like it would interest you. And if it doesn't, that's okay. I'm not deeply offended, just mildly offended. Just kidding. It's fine. We can still be pals. Now on to the last bit of knitting news. I announced this on Instagram, but drum roll. That was lame. I have been selected to be one of the lucky people to be a podcaster in the Blacker Yarns Podcaster Lounge at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I'm not entirely sure what this means, but I get a podcaster pass, and that means I will be hanging out in the podcaster lounge at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, which is happening in the middle of March. Tickets actually go on sale on Monday at 7 PM GMT. If you're interested in going, they go on sale on the 15th. I still need to find accommodation. That is the thing that I keep putting off. I put off long enough booking travel, so now it was 4 times the price when I first looked, but that's okay. Whatever, that's my fault. I'm gonna have a great time. And yeah, I will be there on the Thursday, the Friday and the Saturday. I might be arriving a little bit later on the Thursday because my flight doesn't get in till 10 on Thursday morning, so I might get there a little bit later, but that's okay. That's okay. And yes, just like last year, they're actually having a knit along in the run up to Edinburgh Yarn Festival to get everyone all excited and pumped about going. And it's the Blacker Yarns knit along or crochet along, whichever you fancy, and that actually kickstarts today. And basically you knit or crochet anything in Blacker Yarns, which is a yarn company which is sponsoring the podcast lounge at EYF, and the cast off date is the 11th of March, so you have a nice long time to knit something at your leisure. I unfortunately don't have any Blacker yarns right now, but maybe looking at some, although like I say, I meant to be knitting this, so I may not be participating in the knit along, which I feel a little bit guilty about, but I'm letting you know in case you want to, and I'll pop all the details in the podcast notes about where you can enter and more info about it, because I've got quite a lot of stash to knit, so I'm trying to knit some of that before I go to EYF and go a bit mental, but it's okay. Maybe I underestimate how quickly I can knit, overestimate. I overestimate how quickly I can knit, thinking I can knit through some of this before March, when I also have these to put back onto the shelf. But yes, I need to get some knitting done, basically. But yes, I'm going to Edinburgh Yarn Festival this year. I went last year, it was so much fun. Yes, I will be vlogging the trip, showing you whatnot, you know, things, people, yarn, standard regalia. And I'm very excited about going and seeing a lot of my internet friends, pocket friends, if you will. Another exciting thing that's also happening in March, which isn't necessarily knitting related, actually it's not, well, I will probably be visiting a yarn shop at some point, but I'm going to Stockholm. Oh my goodness. So this is now transitioning into general life chit chat. So I thought that I'd won Christmas this year. I had not won Christmas this year. By winning Christmas, I mean getting Mario a better present than the present he got me. I did not win Christmas this year. Maybe I did. Who knows? But basically, Mario is paying for me to fly, or both of us, to fly to Stockholm in Sweden the weekend of his birthday, which is the beginning of March. So that is ridiculously exciting. So excited. Also, I'm mainly excited because Sweden is cool, but I'm more excited because Anna, who is one of my first proper hardcore internet besties, her and I have been talking for over 2.5 years. We started talking just before I moved to Germany. She got me through some very tough times in Germany when I felt very alone and very sad, and she was my little bundle of positive energy and joy. But she lives in Sweden. She lives about 45 minutes from Stockholm. So I will be meeting her in person for the first time, and that is so exciting, but so terrifying. But more exciting, but also terrifying. Because you know, when you just talk to people online and you just kind of think you know what they're like and blah, 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 and what if you meet them in person, they're not actually like that? But I kind of think she will be exactly like that, and I am pretty much like this. If you know me in person and on video, this is a pretty consistent character. After a while of getting to know me anyway, if you suddenly meet me out and about, I might act a little bit strangely just because I am not used to people approaching me. But yes, bip, bip, bip. I'm so excited to go to Sweden! And I will probably also be vlogging that trip. So I need to get this finished before Sweden, and maybe this, but who knows. I'm so excited, in case you can't tell. But Sweden in March, Anna says it's not very cold, but I think it's very good. I think it's going to be quite chilly. But yes, I had a really lovely Christmas and New Year, because I haven't seen you in a long time. I had like almost 2 weeks off of work, which is weird, but also quite nice. I went down to my parents for Christmas, which was lovely. Lots of knitting time. And then we drove back up and saw Mario's family, which was lovely. And then we went round our friend's house for New Year. Had a very sophisticated dinner party, like grown-ups, because I'm a grown-up now. I don't go down round to people's houses for New Year and just get very, very drunk and end up sleeping on the floor wherever I can find space, like I used to. What a crazy life I used to lead. Yeah, it was very sophisticated. We had a dinner party. It was very nice. It was delightful, if you will. I haven't made any New Year's resolutions, I will be honest. But something you know how a lot of people are doing word of the year. I was watching Candice of Pin Feathers and Pearls, because I haven't been watching many podcasts in the last couple of months, actually, because I've been favouring Netflix instead for some reason. But I've started to get back into watching podcasts, and I'm starting to enjoy watching podcasts again, because I just got into the habit of watching just certain people's podcasts whenever they popped up. This is really annoying me here. I don't know what this is. Can someone help me with that? Because what is this? Is it just because I'm probably still a little too chunky for my jumper? and I need to slink down a little bit more. I think that might be it. Too much enthusiasm, too much Christmas dinner. Not true, I only put on £1 over Christmas. Very happy about that. I'm doing Slimming World, for those who don't know. Yeah, so my word of the year is going to be improvement. I feel like that's quite a good word, and I just want to improve many areas in my life. I want to improve my knitting techniques. I want to improve my knitting speed. I want to speed up a little bit. I want to improve the colour palette that I pick, basically branch out. I'm stretching the definition of improve for that one. I want to improve how I approach my online business. I am very much usually balls to the wall. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't, curse everything. Oh, my hand. I want to improve not injuring myself on things. I want to improve how messy I am, because I'm a very messy person. I want to improve certain parts of my own personality, like how I lose at games. I want to get better at losing at games. I just want to improve a lot of things, and I think that is quite a good word to pick. Oh, my hand, that really hurt. But yes, this is the year of making everything slightly better, but not horrendously different. I don't want to change myself that much, personality-wise. I want to improve my fitness, which is gonna suck because I really hate exercising. And I want to improve my appearance somewhat, which means, you know, getting my hair done, looking after my appearance a bit more, slimming back down to where I was, all of this jazz, which, you know, it's what we're doing, it's what I'm doing. I want to improve my saving of money, that kind of thing. Fun. I also want to do a giveaway for you all, but I'm still planning it, so don't get too excited that right now. But I hit 45,000 subscribers, which is ridiculous, and I hit that like a month ago, and I'm now very quickly approaching 46,000, which is also ridiculous. So thank you very, very, very much, like an intense amount, to everyone who has subscribed and has followed me on Instagram and helped to make the Corner of Craft what it is. Yeah, I want to do a giveaway for you all. It's not going to be a massive one, I won't lie, but I will be doing a little giveaway for you all, because, oh god, I love this jumper so much, I just can't, it's so soft, I just can't stop stroking my arms. But yes, that is everything. I think that is everything. I've probably missed out on some things, and I'm very sorry, but I think that is everything. It's been a month since I last podcast, so it's pretty good going. So, thank you so much to everyone for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button below this video. Not only does it let me know that you're enjoying it, but it also helps to get my video out there a bit more into the YouTube world, which is always helpful when you're trying to grow a business, you know. And also feel free to subscribe. That button is also just below the video, and when you hit subscribe, there's a little bell that comes up. If you hit that bell, you will get a notification pop up on your phone or on your computer, and it will be like, the Corner of Craft has just uploaded a video, so you will know when I've uploaded a video, and I won't just get lost in your subscription feed, which isn't a problem if you just want me to get lost. I mean, I won't take that much offense, but so witty. Such wit, such grace. No wonder all the men want me. If you want to leave a comment below, feel free. What's your word of the year? What are your goals for the year? Let's not call them resolutions. That sounds a bit final. Let's call it a goal. And yeah, I think that's everything. Don't forget to check out the description box below. There was a link to the Ravelry group, and you will be taken to the Ravelry group, and there you will find a list of all the things I've spoken about. And social media, I have it. Follow me if you want to. So I won't be offended if you don't want to. Slightly offended. I won't be too offended if you don't want to. There's a lot of me getting offended in this video, I feel. I haven't spoken to anyone yet this morning, except for my parents just then. So I'm a little bit, and 2 teas. Not that there's much caffeine in a tea. I think I'm just in quite a pumped mood, which is really good because we've got D&D tonight and I need to be pumped. Just need to try and sustain this mood for another 6 hours. My mood will probably dip. Maybe I'm just a morning person now. I've become a morning person. Leave, Hannah. Thank you so much for watching. And with all that being said, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.